Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining me. I have over 25 years of experience as an educator working online, face to face, and within a blended mode. And today I want to explore an area of teaching that is often ignored. This area is somewhat ignored by educators who have large class sizes, limited resources, or at times these educators are forced to teach in a framework that limits good practice. If you were thinking that the area that I had in focus was one-to-one instruction, you would be correct. Some educators, for practical reasons, will see a one-to-one situation as a group of students that may vary between 2 and 4 students. In that case, the teacher will still have adequate time to ensure one-to-one support. Regardless of the context, you will have teacher interacting with a student on a one-to-one basis. Although this is a wonderful idea of supporting students along the way, oftentimes it's not organized in the way it should, especially within a class context. In many contexts, the one-to-one situation is used to ensure that students can reach certain mastery so they are taken out of the mainstream class. However, when we think of one-to-one instruction, we have to think that we could have gifted and talented students, students that need extra help to ensure that they master a concept, or those students who just need a little push to move on. One-to-one can take place right in the classroom. I'd like to go back in history a bit because I came across this when I was doing my graduate studies. And it talked about why Johnny can't read. The reality is that this book that was published in the 1950s talked about Johnny being unable to read. And the reason for Johnny not being able to read was because Johnny had no one that taught him how to sound out words or decode words. He had no understanding of the rules of phonics. As a result, Johnny was in 6th grade unable to read. The Johnny situation can be applied to science, mathematics, and other subjects where students are placed into these subjects unable to master the concept and move from grade to grade. I will not go into the explanation why it's possible to move one student along without the student finding mastery, but we all know in education it is possible. Today, we have students in many schools unable to understand basic subject matter and would benefit from having one-to-one instruction. However, in most of our education systems, this seems to be unrealistic based on the class ratio, physical setting, and of course, the quality teaching within that classroom. Let me state again that the gifted and talented, the student with a special need, and the student that is average will all need to have one-to-one instruction at some point during the semester. Therefore, we have to be cognizant that one-to-one instruction is not just geared at the student with the special need or the statement. Now, let's explore an example. Just imagine a child in a class who has not gained the basic concept of that math problem. The teacher provides additional resources. However, the child is still unable to grasp the concept. At this point, it is time for one-to-one instruction. One-to-one instruction offers the teacher the opportunity to explore the student's thought and to establish where the misunderstanding is taking place. In most cases, the teacher can use questioning to establish where the child is missing that vital step in that mathematical problem. This is also an ideal way of building rapport with learners. The one-to-one approach to the classroom practice is an effective way of ensuring that students with different skills, knowledge, and ability are included in the classroom. Many educational establishments have stated that one-to-one instruction is computer instruction, or the use of technology to personalize learning. I believe that we should not eliminate human interaction in the one-to-one process. Let me share an example with you. While in England, I worked at a secondary school as a special educator. Students were given computer-based personalized learning programs to work on. As a teacher, I met with the student after the session to review what they had done. After reviewing the work, I would then give them additional guidance on how to improve their overall grade. The following day, a one-to-one sit-down session would be held. While we might say this is a lot and we might not have the resources in some educational systems, we cannot ignore the need to ensure that students are given one-to-one support. If we are truly to believe that no child is to be left behind and all learners matter, then we need to offer one-to-one support within every design within our education system. I'll share some strategies that you can use within your online class, your physical class, to ensure that you can give this one-to-one support. After all, I do not want to see it as another part of the lesson that's external, but within that frame. If it's necessary to take it outside of classroom for extended time to give that support, that's okay. But I want you to seriously consider the importance of one-to-one instruction. Not having one-to-one provision in a school could be an equity issue. In our capitalist system, parents who can afford one-to-one tutoring will ensure that their child will have access. Let's also bear in mind that many parents will give their high-functioning child extra tutoring to ensure that they are moving ahead. Therefore, if our formal education system does not offer the one-to-one support, it is indeed an equity issue because children will be left behind if they are not given the required support. The reality is, one-to-one instruction ensures that students interact with the teacher to garner a better understanding of concepts, and of course they learn at their own pace. Furthermore, this form of learning can build a strong relationship with the teacher and the student and empower the student to build confidence that could impact the student's success. Another reality is that one-to-one instruction will allow the teacher to tailor examples that are easily understood for this particular student in the one-to-one session. The reality is, in a one-to-one session, the teacher will be able to see firsthand the step that the student is missing, for example, in a mathematical problem. What I like most about in one-to-one instruction is that it allows students to make mistakes in a safe zone. In this zone, the teacher is able to guide the student, and I use the word scaffold the student to the zone where they can work independently. Let's not forget that knowledge is socially constructed, and if we go to the constructivist theory, we must make connections to the zone of proximal development and the importance of adults in scaffolding the learning. It's all connected to theory, instructional theory, and of course, one-to-one instruction is a part of the social constructivist theory. While I understand that time could be an issue and there needs to be a teaching methodology as it relates to one-to-one instruction, teachers need to be qualified in order to deliver one-to-one teaching. And I mean it. Tutoring is sort of a mentorship that takes on a different level, especially with the context of one-to-one instructions. Therefore, we need to have the knowledge to push on. Notwithstanding, I want to leave you with a few strategies that teachers can use, whether it be online or in the face-to-face session. And I want to say, if you're online, you might want to think about breakout rooms. In the physical space, you can navigate that space carefully and find those students who need help and give them the attention required. Be creative and ensure that you set the rapport for students to come to you, because many students at times will not come to you for help, especially when they're failing. COVID has brought to us new technologies. Therefore, students can use these technologies to communicate with you to ensure that they can get the required help. The teacher can do so much and no more. The reality is, at some point, a referral might need to be made because you might not be able to push that student to the level that they are required to go or give the support necessary. And that is why we need to have a team approach when it comes on to supporting our children. It's the only good thing to do. It takes a village to raise a child. Thanks for listening and watching, and I do hope that you will subscribe to this channel. Let's not forget the value of one-to-one instruction